especially those of you with airline miles. It's the biggest scam in freaking history.
So Dave, you're stopping people from making money.
This is stupid.
It sounds like Dave wants me to sit in economy.
I don't own a credit card. I haven't in decades.
I guess I'm carrying some debt.
And those of you that are collecting airline miles, you are the worst.
Okay, I feel personally attacked. Dave Ramsey is one of the most influential personal finance personalities in America. He's famous for teaching people how to get out of debt and how to build wealth, but he's also one of the biggest critics on credit cards. Today, as a credit card and points expert, I'm reacting to one of his videos and seeing where we agree and where we don't. Let's get into the video.
When you use a credit card to purchase something, on average, studies have shown, several pieces of research, that you spend more money. The average is 12 to 20% more. An example is that the average person using a credit card at a vending machine spends 178% more, meaning they get a Coke and a candy bar and a bag of chips, where they were just going to get a Coke. When you use a credit card, it reduces the emotional friction.
I don't know. I'm very eager to hear your thoughts, but if I'm at a vending machine, which I very rarely am, I'm more concerned about the calories that I'm intaking by what I'm purchasing. Definitely top of mind for me. I'm not thinking about, do I get the Coke and the bag of chips just because I've got my plastic credit card?
And that's why everyone wants you to use plastic. Yes, you do spend more when you use a credit card.
I will say I am pretty connected to what I'm spending, and that feels like my money. So I don't agree with Dave Ramsey here saying that it's just like really easy to go spending willy-nilly.
The larger the item, the less the percentage, but it doesn't have to be much percentage for you to spend more. And those of you that are collecting airline miles, all the studies tell us, the reason they offer the airline miles, all the studies tell us that you are the worst.
Okay, so airline miles people are the worst. That's hilarious. I have actually heard directly from financial institutions that people like me are the least profitable customers, and they don't actually want more people like me and like you if you're a points optimizer as well, because we're getting every little bit of value out of the card while paying it off on a monthly basis while never carrying any interest. So here's the thing, the merchants pay a processing fee to the credit card issuer, and that processing fee is baked in to the price of the item. So essentially someone that's paying cash or using a debit card is still paying the same price as I am using my credit card, and they're subsidizing my airline miles program. So you're actually missing out on airline miles if you aren't using a points earning credit card and you're still paying the extra price. So the golden rule here is pay your card off in full every month and collect those airline miles.
And the hilarious thing is that you are massively in denial. That you really do believe you're beating them at their game. Which is humorous, really.
Okay, so it might be humorous for Dave, but even think about the credits that we get on our credit cards. If you're actually spending that money and it's money that you would have spent in your normal day-to-day life anyway, you're offsetting the cost of the annual fee and then you're earning those points on top. I'm not seeing too much wrong with it here.
You're not going to come out in these games. They know the behaviors. It's not a conspiracy theory. They're just world-class marketers and spend $1 bazillion studying your behaviors.
Okay, so he's got a point there. If he says the data shows that 78% of people are carrying a balance, that's clearly where the credit card companies are making money on those interest payments. But people like you and I that pay our credit cards off, we're not the offenders. I hope that you pay your credit card off. If not, probably don't open any more credit cards and make an aggressive plan to get ahead of your credit card debt because it's definitely not good to carry. And the interest on these cards that I talk about regularly can be as high as 28 or 30%. And that can be a real problem. And that certainly negates any of the positive benefits that you're getting out of airline miles. So I can agree with Dave on that part.
You spend more when you get airline miles because you're so freaking excited about your free trip to Europe that's not free.
Okay, I love a free trip to Europe on my airline miles. It's not free because there are taxes and fees associated, but when it comes to the miles, yes, it's basically free because I'm not spending any additional money than what I would have been spending. I'm just spending my money more deliberately. So on my groceries and dining, I'm putting it on a gold Amex and earning 4 points per dollar. For my everything else catch-all spend, I'm putting it on my Build card and I'm getting 3x as the multiplier right now. And as a matter of fact, one of my favorite ways to use points is flying business class from the US to Europe. You can do that for 60,000 points one way with Air France or KLM under Flying Blue's loyalty program.
Because you're so stupid, you believe all that stuff. Well, I don't agree with Dave Ramsey on the airline miles. It's just because you don't know the background and the data on this. 90% of airline miles are never redeemed.
That's a crazy number, 90%. Oh my gosh, what I could do with all of those miles. If you're one of those people where your miles are sitting there and you're kind of overwhelmed, not knowing how to spend them most effectively, make sure you're following my channel because I teach all of that in my content. And if you want a head start, I do have a course that takes you through it all step by step, and I'll link that in the description below.
And of those that are redeemed, you have a substandard experience with the airline, which having a substandard experience with a substandard industry pretty much means it sucks. I mean, think about airline service other than Southwest as an oxymoron, isn't it? I mean, Delta is Greek for we're not really taking you there. We just said we were.
Delta happens to be my favorite domestic airline, and I'm feeling a little offended by Dave's assessment there. And I will say, we need to take this man on a Singapore Airlines business or first class flight. That is service, unparalleled. Dave just needs some good flying experience. Let's put him on an Emirates flight. He'll understand.
It's a substandard experience to start with. And then you get the opportunity to fly through 3 extra connections to use your free miles that was brought to you by overspending on your credit card.
He's got a point on these 3 extra connections because here's the thing. I often recommend a positioning flight for points enthusiasts because often you can't get the best award pricing or a particular aircraft or airline unless you fly to a larger city or airport. So for example, if you want to fly from the US to Europe with Emirates, you have to fly from New York to Milan or New York to Athens. That's the only place that those flights fly between the US and Europe. And so I'm based in Miami, and I would be more than happy to take that little flight up to New York, or even if I was in LA, I would fly to New York just to fly with Emirates over to Europe. I love it. The experience is totally worth it for me. And if you're getting a great deal on the award pricing, why not? And if you're flying with KLM or Air France, you'll probably need to connect in Amsterdam or Paris and then fly on to your final destination in Europe. But is that a big deal? I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong here. I don't know.
And somehow you and your little brain have figured out that that makes sense. This is stupid. It's stupid. Even when you're on a cash basis with a debit card like I use. I don't own a credit card. I haven't in decades. But even if you use a cash basis like a debit card, you do not feel the pain.
I'm confused. Dave is telling us that you don't feel the pain and he uses a debit card. But isn't the other half of that just paying off your credit card in time? If he's complaining that the reason why you overspend is because you're using a plastic credit card and you're not thinking about the money, but he's also doing the same thing if he's using a plastic debit card and not thinking about the money. If he is able to pay off his balance every month, I don't see the difference here. Why No.
Back in the day when the dinosaurs roamed the earth and we put gasoline in our car, we used to have to leave the car, walk into the store, and hand the person in the store money. When gas prices went up, we squalled and threw a fit. People were acting like the entire world was in meltdown because when they paid for their gas with presidents' faces, they knew that gas prices had gone up. Here's what's interesting. When gas prices go up now, you and me, we pay at the pump, don't we? I pay with a debit card. Some of you pay with a credit card. And when gas prices go up, you don't think much about it because it's kind of like monopoly money. It's a digit. You're not even pulling the receipt off the thing. I know, because when I pull up there, your stupid receipt's still hanging there. So you have no idea what your last tank of gas cost.
Okay, I don't know about this. I don't have a car, but I know for a fact people are feeling the recent increase in gas prices. My parents were talking about it on the phone to me. My best friend in LA told me about it. So I have a feeling that people know the increase in the price of a tank of gas. Actually, Ethan, your recent tank of gas, do you know how much it cost you? Yeah. $40. Okay, so Ethan knows. Dave, you're wrong. We know it's expensive. We know how much it's costing. Thank you, Ethan. Side note, by the way, the new Chase Sapphire Preferred is now offering 3 times points per dollar on gas and electrical vehicle charging. So I will link that card below, and the $95 annual fee is very low. It's a good card. I'll link it below.
The reason you can't tell me is it created no pain for you inside your brain. Pain is associated with memory. If you create a pain around something, you will have a memory of it. When you buy something that you saved up for and you pay cash for it, you can tell me to the penny what you paid for it because it registers in your psyche.
Okay, so I haven't bought gas, but I bought an expensive dress recently, and I liked the dress, but it didn't quite fit me right. And so I'm sending it back because I feel the pain of spending that money. Even though it's on a credit card, that's my money. I know that I'm paying it off. I feel that pain. So I have to disagree with him here.
The research shows the more money you make, the more credit card debt you have.
That's an interesting research. But I don't know if it's because we can't manage our credit cards. I think possibly it's more about lifestyle creep. And I felt that myself. When I first came to the US and I was making $60,000 a year, I was spending $1,800 per month on rent, and I was sharing a house with someone else, not a house, a unit even. And now 8 years later, I have over $10,000 in monthly housing costs, and that's definitely lifestyle creep. But in my situation, I'm still not carrying any debt besides my $800,000 mortgage. I guess I'm carrying some debt, but not credit card debt.
Because the sloppier you get and the more you buy into these stupid rationalizations where you are not experiencing any emotional friction. MIT did a study that showed that the pain centers of the brain are activated when you release cash that is yours to purchase something. When you spend cash, it activates the pain centers of the brain. When you buy the exact same item with the exact same amount of money with a credit card, nothing happens in the brain.
I want to know which year these studies were done. I want to know how it differs now. I feel like I need more information. I need references because I feel the pain. Let me know in the comments if you feel the pain too when you're buying something, especially something that's a bit more expensive.
No brain, but no pain center activation, which means you're simply not registering the spending. There's no emotional friction. There's no intellectual friction. Nothing is acknowledged, and you spend more. You really do.
I feel like I'm in trouble. I mean, maybe my $15 smoothies, if I was paying cash, maybe I would think twice about them. But I also don't think so. Because here's the thing, I've reached a point in my life where if I want a $15 smoothie, I'm allowed to have one, and it doesn't matter if that's cash or card.
And to argue with that is ludicrous, because that means you have pride about your level of discipline, which is absolute horse crap. I teach discipline for a living. It's what I do.
Okay, Dave, if you're so disciplined, why can't you set up an auto pay and pay off your credit card monthly? If you're using the plastic anyway and not feeling the pain, start making some cash back at least. Can you imagine, Dave, if he was using 2% cashback credit card or getting a 2x catch-all card like with a Bilt? That man would be making serious money. His business expenses are probably like $500,000 a year on the very conservative end. I would hazard to say it's in the millions, but let's go with 500,000. So if he was using a 2% cashback card, that would be what? Is that $10,000 a year, $20,000 a year that he could be getting back? What's the math on that? Let me fact check myself. If you were getting 2% cash back on $500,000 of annual expenses between your business and your personal life, you would be getting $10,000 cash back. And so say you invest that in an ongoing basis onto the S&P 500, it's compounding at 8% per year. That's like $450,000 in 20 years' time. So Dave, you're stopping people from making money. This is not the best information for people like you and me, people that pay off our credit cards monthly.
I have taught this for 30 years, and I can fall in this trap of spending more because I'm using plastic. I mean, we're on a Disney cruise, and your room key buys everything. Took the grandbabies on the Disney cruise, right? And before I know it, we're just buying Mickey this and Mickey that. And I get the bill at the end of the cruise, and I'm going, well, we got Mickey Moused. Unbelievable, man. There was no acknowledgement that this money was leaving by Papa Dave or by the precious overspending grandbabies.
I can agree with Papa Dave on this one because I was on a Virgin cruise recently and they give you a little bracelet and you can just tap to pay for specialty drinks, coffees, whatever you're looking for. And that was really easy and seamless. But by the end of the 3 or 4 days, I think I'd spent like $50 and I'd spent it on coffees, stuff that I would have wanted anyway. Have you seen in Tokyo, you can pay with your palm? I really like that. I'm all about efficiency and reducing friction and whatever gets me out of the store faster, I'm into it.
I'll do it again. It's wonderful. I can afford it. But when you're broke and you rationalize, you have no net worth, your net worth is $4, and you have no income or limited income, you have a lot of debt, you're misbehaving with money, and then you come off as prideful and arrogant about how you can handle your credit cards because you pay them off every month when 78% don't, and even those that do overspend, especially those of you with airline miles. It's the biggest scam in freaking history.
I mean, okay, if you have debt, if you're not good with money, if you're not able to meet your payments, if you spend too quickly or too easily when you have a credit card, sure. Maybe credit cards aren't for you and there are other ways that you should go about using your money and go about your day-to-day. But it sounds like Dave wants me to sit in economy because I'm definitely not paying $15,000 for that first class flight that I'm buying with points and points that I have earned through my everyday spend without spending anything additional. And you know what? I pay even less in taxes and fees than the price of economy ticket. So Dave has got me spending more money and flying far less comfortably. I don't like this at all.
It's the credit, it's the cigarette of the financial world. It used to be cool, and people are going to acknowledge that it kills you. They're going to quit doing it.
Okay, so airline miles are not like the cigarette. I don't think we're going to be quitting them anytime soon. I do hope that you spend responsibly and I do hope that you don't carry any credit card debt. But I'm going to give you my 2 golden rules. Don't spend money you don't have and always pay off your credit cards. There you go. Problem solved. Now let's learn how to earn and spend those miles strategically. If that sounds good to you, follow along, you're in the right place.